Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boxing Shop. Another episode. Dakota, Ray, what's going on, y'all?
Just popping, fellas. We got a nice little show going today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another fun one
Sir,
lined up.
another week. We're back at it.
You already know. What'd you think of the fights this past weekend?
Bro.
Well, I guess it depends on which fights you're talking about.
Well, we could start off with, of course, Jaime Munguia. That's the main topic, right?
Yeah, listen, bro. He stayed active. He had a fight. It was quick. The guy was not really like an appropriate level for a guy on Jaime's level, but it's like hard for me to hate on him being active when it's so hard to get fight in that weight class. But even if you just look at the top 30 on BoxRec, there was just so many more interesting fights than the one he was in Saturday.
I mean, he continues to do what he should do with the type of opponents in front of him. So it's like I can't say, oh, Jaime Munguia sucks, because he's doing what any top level guy would do to these guys. It's just, why is he still fighting these guys, right? Like,
he's a very talented guy. He's a very talented guy. I would feel if he was my guy, I'd be like confident, you know?
Oh yeah, like, bro, he looks big in there, like size wise, and he still made 160 size wise. Let's put a timeout on that.
Here we go, Mr. Woo. What's going on, Blair?
What up? Am I online?
Yes, sir. You're
We're
live.
live right now, bro. We're live right now.
Okay, Blair and Flair is live. What's up, you guys?
Listen, bro, we appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
And we've said it multiple times on this show, probably at this moment, like the best in the mic in boxing right now. Like, I think you're probably the guy right now on the mic.
Possibly. It, like, what do you guys call it? Is the shop boxing or what?
The boxing
shop, man. Yeah, the boxing shop.
The boxing shop. Yeah, that's an awesome name, man. I saw it, like, damn, that's dope.
Appreciate
Once
that.
again, Blair and Flair is coming at you live right here at the boxing shop. You got the one and only Blair and Flair, the most exciting man in boxing. Woo!
That's that fucking energy right there, bro.
We love it. Appreciate it, man. What's going on? How was your day? How was your weekend?
Hold up. I see Blair in the studio right there. What you doing in the studio, man?
I'm always coming up with things, you know what I mean? I'm a multifaceted individual, and I do things, you know. Right now I'm in the studio. This is what I do on outside of boxing. I got a lot of things going on. My management company, they also do a lot of things in the music industry. So, like, you know, I happen to be around. This is what happens.
No doubt. So you an artist then?
I wouldn't even call myself an artist as much as I call myself an entertainer.
Okay, I was about to
entertain, and like, that's just one other avenue.
I was about to say, because if you're in the studio, I think it'd be pretty hard to keep you off the mic. I know you got something for him.
Yeah, it's some things. It's some things in the works. So you guys stay tuned, because there will always be more exciting content coming at you live with Blair the Flair.
Bro, that's so crazy too, because that was like one of the things I wanted to ask you. Was it's like you seem like a guy that definitely has other shit going on, and obviously right off rip we can see that you do.
Yeah, man, your boy can act. Your boy can sing, can rap, can do it all. Blair the Flair is an all-around athlete and an all-around entertainer.
So where does beating people up fit on that list of yours? Like,
it's at the top of the list, because I just can't get my hands on Virgil Ortiz, Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence. I just can't wait to fight any of them.
What do you feel like was like, because obviously I would say you're coming off probably one of your best wins, if not at least your most significant win against Mo Hooker. Very good fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's shown all around to be a good boxer time and time again. You put him down 3 times, you boxed some, you banged some. What do you feel like was like the biggest adjustment you made from the Rocha fight to that fight?
Everything was different. I had a lot more time to train and like get myself together, like as far as like pre-camp and all that stuff. But but even in the midst of that, I was still trying to find a trainer, and I found a different trainer, a full setup, a full training camp set up with a strength condition trainer and Coach Cecilio and two highly technical, highly developed, know the boxing game inside and out, and Coach Romo and Coach Adams. I had got a full team by the grace of God, and we went out and did exactly what we came out there to do: upset the world.
Yeah, man. I know
And
there
it
was
was a
some
great.
some bad blood going into it. He came in overweight, and man, you put it on him for sure.
Yeah, well, he came
Go.
in and shaped like a motherfucker, and he was overweight. Like he tends to like get pretty heavy, and I know that like him and Terrence Crawford, they thought about like just like how about they don't miss the weight so they can stay strong, and basically they wanted to run me over. They just wanted to apply a lot of pressure and run me over. I mean, Terrence Crawford was promising that he would get me out within the first 2 or 3 rounds, So like there was a few adjustments that I had to make like on the fly because like I didn't expect that. I thought that he would come in and like like he was already in dog shape, but I thought that he would be like making weight and things of that nature. And he came in overweight, and I wasn't even sure if we were still going to be fighting. What I mean, coming into the fight or whatever. But we made the adjustments. There's a lot of things that like I had I had hidden skills that I was waiting to blast off on, like people that are likes of Ennis, people are the likes of the guy that was in the corner, Terrence Crawford, and I had to show those skills and those abilities in that fight early instead of like later on, which I was planning on doing later on and stopping him later on with those with the same shots I knocked him down with. But he came in so hard and like aggressive towards the beginning that like I had to show my hand early that like I'm nothing to play with, what I mean? And I had to get him down. I knocked him down 3 times, and he was in dog shape, and he lasted the whole fight.
There was a
Yeah,
moment at that
no,
weigh-in when Terrence Crawford walked up to you after everything got heated. What was it that he said to you?
I don't really know, man. I think that was something that was said between him and my trainer, and I intervened. I mean, at the end of the day, like Terrence Crawford can get the heat too. Flair is here to stay. Flair is here, and honestly, like, um, I don't know why he's fighting whoever he's fighting right now. We don't know that person at all, but we do know Flair, and we can make that happen, and that will sell. Um, so and to make matters even crazier, I heard that he turned down the fight for Flair. After that ass whooping that I laid on Hooker, a lot of people got scared. People that
yeah, it was a different Blair for sure. Like like you
so
said, you came out aggressive. You showed a different hand.
I could stay locked in game for a full fight. You know what I mean? In the later rounds, not falling into like falling out of character or like, getting frustrated or losing my patience. I can stay patient and disciplined for a full fight, a full 10 rounds. And if we gotta push it to 12, we'll push it to 12. And full locked engagement is the key to beating Terrence Crawford. Full locked engagement is the key to beating the top elite athletes. You know,
Yeah,
um,
I got a question. You've shown obviously in these 50-50 fights, but going back to the Rocha fight, where you're still getting better, Rocha's still getting better, undefeated records. How does that fight come together where you say, we're two prospects. We got guys that are undefeated that won't fight each other. How did it come together for you to be like, all right, I'm gonna fight this guy, even though you're not at the peak of your career yet, to take that fight so early?
well, one, I know that I'm like far superior to Rocha. Like that's just a given. I'm just far superior. Yeah, I mean, I came in there with that kind of arrogance and that kind of cockiness, but on top of that, like I didn't have the right preparation at all. Like they only gave me like 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks to prepare for the fight, and that's coming off a year layoff again. He's coming in fresh after 3 months from his last fight, and then I'm coming off a year layoff. It just wasn't what you would call like an actual fair fight. In a fair fight, he lose. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, you see what I'm dealing with. I mean, there's a reason why Alexis Rocha didn't fight Maurice Hooker, but Blair Flair did. There's a reason why Alexis Rocha is in the top 10 only because of what I've done. They should really get his ass off of my name. If he can't fuck with me, they need to get his ass off my name. Period. Like, don't rank him up while I'm fucking like killing shit while he fucking like fighting two bums on the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
On the way
crazy.
to, like
Yeah, he's ranking up off of what you're doing. But
Yeah,
yeah, like and I always thought it was kind of weird because I personally I never felt like you got the top prospect push, but you're the one that we want to see. And like that doesn't seem right to me. And especially if that was a short notice fight, it just doesn't make sense to me. But like, I mean, you've shown that you'll fight anyone, and I mean that's appreciated by all fans, I think.
I mean, at the time, like, there was a whole lot of I don't knows. You have to realize that like Golden Boy have not been on their shit for in the last few, like at least the last few years. That fight wasn't promoted. If you look at it, the fight wasn't promoted until almost the week of the fight. Reason why is because we didn't sign an actual contract until like 2 weeks before the fight. I didn't know that I was actually really, really going to fight this man until 4 or 5 weeks, what I mean, coming into it. And then like on top of that, it was still etchy. It's a lot of I don't knows that's being pushed in that whole situation. You know what I mean? And I just wish that we had better communication and like more organization. When it came down to that fight and Virgil got popped, Virgil got sick, you know what I mean? And in that whole situation, you know what I mean? Like, and he got sick with something that's very, very peculiar, you know what I mean? But when that happened, the whole fight was going to be canceled, and like me being the fact that I haven't fought in a year, and it's like only God knows. It's not like I'm going to get more prepared, you know what I'm saying, than I am at this point, because I'm already out the fucking gym. They fucking like they done starved my ass out, and then they starved plenty of other fighters that was on the undercard out. You know what I mean? It's like it's just to a point where it's like, you know what, I had to step up and be like, you know what, I'm gonna save this fucking card. You know what I mean? And at first I was going for fucking McKinson, only for the simple fact that like you have to really think about it. McKinson was an easier fight and was placed at a main event against Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Well, like when the fight was going on, he was ranked lower than me and Alexis at the same time. Like, what is Virgil Ortiz fighting? Like, on his way to like where he's at is absolutely fucking disgusting. At the time, like, at the same time, you have me actually fighting real 50-50, and most times the odds is against me, and I'm coming up winning, and coming up with big attraction fights, and I'm the one that everybody wants to see. We need to fix that in boxing, when it comes to this stuff. Like I just hope that Golden Boy can get on board what boxing really needs, the Blair to Flair show. Period. And
Has there ever been talk of you guys running it back, you and Rocha?
Man, it's like this, dude. Before the last fight, a lot of things happened. A lot of things was in the air. Before the last fight, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind fighting Blair to Flair again. Why not? Why not? Why not fight Blair Cobbs? Yeah, yeah. After the fight, we need to talk. We need to think about that one. We'll see if it makes sense. Before the fight, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Don't worry, champ. You're gonna win this one, and you're gonna get back on board, and you're gonna fight Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is your next fight. You know what I mean? Before the contract and everything expires. The next fight is Virgil Ortiz. You're gonna do great. All you have to do is just win this fight, and we're good. After the fight, Nothing. Nothing. Why? Is it because Virgil Ortiz will get smacked up if he fight Blair to Flair? Why? Is it because fucking the real truth is that Alexis has no chance against Blair to Flair? You know what I mean? In a fair fight. Like, he hasn't fought a fair fight in ever. Like, it's just one of those things.
So Blair, you've talked about saving the cards. There's been plenty of times, like, the zone fights aren't my favorite, but I'll tune in to see Blair the Flair, like you said. Does Golden Boy have your best interests at heart, or do you feel like you're always fighting against them? Like, I just feel like maybe you're not putting the best situations for you.
I mean, lately, that's how I've been feeling, absolutely, and I have every right to feel that way. You know what I mean? Like, I have nothing but respect for everybody that's on Golden Boy's banner and everything, and everybody that's behind the scenes. But I have every respect. I have everything. Like, I have the responsibility of thinking for myself and knowing for myself, and like, yeah, absolutely. I don't feel like I'm being taken care of on almost any level. But the thing is, like, when I survive, you're in fucking trouble. Period. You're in fucking trouble. You're in trouble every time you put me in that fire pit and then I fucking survive. You know what I'm saying? I survive, boom, comeback fighter of the year. I survive, boom, Caribbean is no longer your champion. Come back, I survive, boom, another undefeated fighter bites the dust. You know what I mean? I've been in more 50-50 fights than almost any of these young undefeated fighters. So then, boom, you see Blair to Flair calling out Ennis, calling out fucking Virgil, calling out what's his name? That guy for steroids.
I see you call out Spence, and Spence hit me back.
Hunter Ben, Spence, and all of these guys, because the thing is, if I survive the fire, it's over for you. Because the thing is, I've been put in the fire so many times. It's like, and the crazy part about it is I only have but so many fights. I don't have a whole bunch of developmental fights to build me up and get me comfortable and balance and getting ready for a fight. I don't have a bunch of developmental fights. So what you see is extra raw, and then little by little you see me develop. But in the midst of developing, you'll see me fall, you'll see me stumble a little bit. It creates drama. And then on top of that, like, when I rise, because the thing is, beyond all those incremental fights that develops the fighter to this and that, you still get to see, from me, you get to see the truth. And you can't say that about fucking Virgil Ortiz, Ennis, or any of those like top guys, Conor Ben. You can't say that about any of those top guys right now that are supposed to be top guys that at the number one ranking, that's like they haven't been tested. So then what's the biggest and the most dangerous thing that they could fuck with right now is me. So when I come out and say that I'm calling out all these jokers on their bullshit, yes, it is very scary. They can say what they want, the fans can say what they want, but the truth will always remain that we have real and we have fake. And when you get put in that goddamn ring with me, we're really gonna find out, because you got a real one on your hands. But the thing is, I do a whole lot of talking. So when whooping, everybody's gonna see it. If you try to rob me, everybody's gonna see it. you better watch carefully.
Yeah, and I mean, you do your talking, but also I would agree at least that any of those guys you named, Ben, Ortiz, Ennis, if they were to fight you, you'd be the best person that they'd ever been in the ring with professionally, I think. So,
absolutely.
Hey Blair, I see you calling out these big dogs.
Idea.
I see you calling out these big dogs. I got sent a text when it was said that we were going to have you on, and it said to ask you about Quentin Randall, someone that's been calling you out. That name mean anything to you? Or is there any history there? Or?
Nah, I don't know a Quentin Randall at all.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know either. They say you knocked out his stablemate and they said Quentin Randall. Ask Blair about Quentin Randall.
Does somebody else want to lose their career? I really don't care. Quentin Randall, do you want to lose your career fucking with somebody like me? If I knocked out your fucking like your training partner, which I'm pretty sure he was good. You know what I'm saying? I don't fight bums. You know what I mean? But I will make a bum out of you. So this is a message to whoever the fuck Quentin Randall is.
Talk that talk.
Come on, baby.
Yo, so I want to.
We can do it, but you know it ain't gonna look good for you.
There's certain weight classes in boxing right now, like super middleweight, light heavyweight, junior middleweight, where guys are really fighting each other. The guys at the top, they're making big fights, and yet it seems like at welterweight, where there's all this talent, that there's like a traffic jam or something, where there really isn't that many meaningful fights getting made. What do you think is like the biggest reason for that? That welterweight specifically seems so like backed up.
The welterweight division has always been one of the marquee divisions on
That's a fact.
Boxing. In boxing, period.
Yep.
Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, a lot of top athletes. You know what I mean? Roberto Duran. You know what I mean? Wilfred Benitez. This and the list goes on all the way through the 90s of Sugar Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, Ricky Hatton, and the list goes on. The thing is that like humanity's perfection, humanity's like perfect body is in the welterweight division. Speed and power at its 100%. Boxing's perfection is really at the welterweight division. And a lot of the main athletes that come out of boxing are either coming out of the heavyweights or the welterweight division, you know, and it's a stacked division. It's always going to be a stacked division full of the top athletes. You know what I mean? Right now, we have two of the best athletes that boxing can create. And for some reason, these niggas can't get it right. And I hate saying niggas because I don't really speak like that. That's just not my thing, you know. But these guys, Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, seem to just cannot get it together, and it's very bad on boxing as a whole. Like, you cannot just sit here and say that your career means anything at this point until you get in the ring with each other. This is a highly anticipated fight that everybody's been waiting to see, and none of you guys can sell a damn thing. You're not stars by yourself. Blair Flair is a star by himself. Once I put on the fucking on the level, if I like, and the crazy part is, I might end up fighting them two motherfuckers before they end up fighting each other, and they gonna end up taking losses. You know what I mean? By a loudmouth real star, and like they will miss out on their best payday and like what boxing really was about. You know what I mean?
Who do you blame for that, Blair? Like we see both of them, and when we hear promote or whatever, do you place blame on anyone, or is it just the business of boxing?
Like, I don't know. The business of boxing they need to fix that, because it's getting so bad that if you don't fix the business of boxing, you will be extinct. And like the only people that they have that's trying to keep boxing alive is Blair the Flair and fucking Rolly Romero. You know what I mean? And like we don't even know what the hell Adrian Broner's doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and that's about it. And like Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? But Tyson Fury can easily disappear again. Like we don't know. You know what I mean? Like the pool of fights that he can get made is very, very small right now, after beating the one person that is literally a magic one fist punch knockout artist. I like it just don't make no sense. You know what I mean? We have a lot of great athletes that are like let's say the young fighters of today. You know what I mean? That I somehow got like caught up in, and all that stuff. Like you have the Ennis, you have Ortiz, you have Connor Ben that got popped for steroids, and I'm pretty sure some of those other names that I called out is probably on it too. You know what I mean? And should probably be tested like now. Like, but that's none of my business. But and all of these young athletes, they're not calling each other out. Everybody wants an easy route. Everybody. Like I don't think they really believe that they're the best. And then
it seems like people want an easier route to the biggest fight. Like they don't want to have to take tough fights to get to that biggest fight necessarily. You know what I mean? And it used to be that contenders fought each other to get that position to get to the top. Whereas now you have 10 guys that want the same Canelo fight, that want the same Floyd fight, whatever the case.
Everybody wants to be undefeated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's kind of rough, because the thing is, the craziest part about that whole thought and idea and development is that like you miss out because like maybe your biggest fight wasn't that fight, that world title. Maybe your biggest fight was fighting somebody that was on the way. You know what I mean? And yeah, you might not have made it. You may or may not have made it to the world title. But that was your biggest fight. That was the legacy that like everybody wanted to see. And then a star was born. And whether it was you or the other person, it was an amazing fight. It brought drama and action to the sport. And because promoters do their fucking job and fighters go above and beyond to make sure that they're part of the selling of the fight, we have actual mega fights. And you don't have to have a goddamn title on it. You don't have to have a world title to make it happen. Like I'm gonna be 100% honest. Ortiz have no chance against the fucking champions. You know what I'm saying? They're just trying to hurry up and get put in the first line, so as soon as they fucking like throw their belt off, because like they're gonna move up in weight class. Earl Spencer can't hold on to his weight any longer, and like Terrence Crawford is running out of options. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, and like a lot of the older fighters, they don't want to face the young fighters. I'll face them. A lot of the young fighters don't want to face each other. I'll face them. What I mean? It was like it's just a lot of nonsense. And the thing is, it's hurting the sport. It's hurting the sport. Right now we have a whole lot of nonsense going on. And tell you the truth, we have invaders. Invaders of our fans and invaders of our sport. You know what I mean? Even our sport though. Invaders of our fans is people like that. Like instead of watching boxing, I'm going to watch football. Instead of watching boxing, I'm going to watch something else. I'm going to watch some basketball. You know what I mean? And invaders of the invaders is just in general. Oh, but instead of boxing, I'm going to watch UFC. But then you have invaders in the actual sport itself. Man, instead of fucking watching boxing, I'm gonna watch some YouTuber bullshit. I'm gonna watch the motherfuckers that don't know how to fight, like just swinging with their head up, like, or a fucking dude that kind of know how to fight, that at least have like high level amateur skills, but is fighting like a 90-year-old, or somebody that actually don't box, like in boxing though, under boxing rules, but an MMA fighter that's retired. That's old.
That's what I'm saying. We've been talking about it on this channel, but it just seems like what you actually accomplish in the ring, that's like optional to the big fight. If you have that following and if you have some kind of marketability, like people are going to pay to watch Oprah versus Martha Stewart. People are going to pay to watch crazy ass spectacle shit without it being real boxing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but like I feel like Blair, you kind of bring that too. You bring that entertainment where Terrence Crawford could be fighting whoever he's fighting. I have no interest in that right now. I'd rather see Blair in a 50-50 fight, I mean, you mentioned Adrian Broner, bro. Like, talk about that fight. How crazy would Blair the Flair versus Adrian Broner be?
There will be a reality show, a 10-part series, actual video, a 10-part series television show on top of a reality show on YouTube for both fighters. And the build-up itself will make millions of dollars. And you can sell the build-up as an actual part of boxing. You know what I'm saying? It will be bigger than any goddamn 24/7 and literally so much content to be developed between the two of us. But the background of me, the background between him and like his rise, his falls, and his rise again, you know what I mean? And his redemption to Blair the Flair, you know what I mean? His road to Blair the Flair, the most exciting fight in the world. You know what I mean? He wants to be a fucking billionaire. This is a $1 billion fight. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what boxing needs. That would be very interesting.
What's happened? Why hasn't that fight come to fruition so far?
Promoters and all kinds of nonsense. Because people would have like their own thing, their own agenda. It's like, oh, like a lot of promoters, there's promoters out here right now that are following a bad pattern that is not helping boxing when we have invaders. You know what I mean? In boxing, we have too many invaders in boxing and in the sport, of sports as a whole. We're trying to captivate more fans. We're not trying to fucking put them to sleep. And like the toughest thing that fucking Earl Spence can say is you box like you swimming. Like that's the toughest thing he could say. Like I will smack him up every day on a goddamn microphone. Like and it's just getting to a point that's ridiculous.
I have a question about that, and this is kind of like I mean, you're I guess stablemate. Like we go kind of hard, on Jaime Munguia fighting Jaime Munguia type opponents, right? And
Jaime Munguia is fighting Jaime Munguia. We don't know who the fuck he's fighting ever.
We don't, and this is my question. So, and then kind of Virgil Ortiz, same thing. How much say does the fighter have, like, in who they fight, right? Like, should I put the blame on him or should I put the blame on, they're protecting him? Because you seem to be in 50-50 fights. So, like, how much say does a fighter have in that?
I don't know, man. Because, like, the thing is, I've been putting a whole lot of 50-50 fights, and I didn't have any say-so at all. Oh, yeah, we're gonna put you against Caribbean. And that wasn't even a 50-50. That was like 20-70 or some shit. Like, it was insane. Let's just put it like that. 20-80. Like, it's just, I've been putting in tons of those situations. Oh, yeah, you fight this guy or we're going to release you. I've been putting tons of those fights. You know what I'm saying? So consistently that, like, now it's like I'm in a position where I don't give a fuck. Like, I actually want those fights. I really don't want bad fights anymore because I don't even think I can perform without the fire, without the pressure, without the insanity. You know what I mean? Honestly, my like from where I stand, you know what I'm saying? And like these other guys, they can perform with bums, but they we yet to see them against somebody that will punch them in a motherfucking mouth and like see what happens next. It's very scary to like be putting so many eggs in one basket without having any real answers. We have a whole lot of questions with no answers. Everybody's talking about how fucking tough Ennis is, and like, look, granted, he is an incredible athlete. When I tell you he's an incredible athlete. He's absolutely nothing that I haven't seen in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? But Philadelphia bred unbelievable athletes. And guess who was born from Philadelphia? Me. but like, but we don't know what happens to this fighter when he gets hurt. We don't know what happens when he's placed in a 50-50 situation. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what happens when his back is against those ropes for once. You know what I'm saying? Because I would love to see what happens when he gets the loosey legs, because a lot of those Philadelphia fighters fall short the moment they get punched in their mouth. The moment they get hurt, things are different because they don't have the technical skills to fall back on. Now the only thing you got to fall back on is fight, which I learned from Mexico. Like I'm a different breed, you know what I mean? But can you fight? You can box. Oh, you got all the skills in the world. You know what I mean? You got inside, outside. You can switch your feet, all that good stuff. Okay, and then I catch you with some crazy shit. Are you going to be able to fight? There's a lot of unanswered questions.
You talk about those unanswered questions and learning about yourself. How is it down at Wild Card, man? Because I mean, I imagine that's the best in the world all in one place. What's it like training there, sparring there, all of that?
It's a lot of sparring. It's a lot of sparring at an elite level. It's a lot of sparring at an elite level, and honestly, like it can be detrimental to a champion, a person that's going for like world title. It can be detrimental, and the reason why is because like when you have those type of sparring consistently, it can give you damage. Like training is already tough enough. You know what I mean? It produces wear and tear on your body. You know what I mean? But the thing is, it's one of those things where as though it will produce one great fighter, Manny Pacquiao. You know what I mean? But Manny Pacquiao probably wouldn't like survive wild card in its present day place if Manny Pacquiao came in off the streets in the very beginning of his career. Wild card was different back then compared to what it is now. It's very prestigious, very famous, and only the best fighters are here at wild card. So it's pretty tough. And if you survive a wild card, you just might be somebody. You know what I'm saying? But you got to survive. So like that's what I've gone through in wild card is I had to start off from the bottom and work my way up to being king of the hill. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't easy. I got hurt a couple times. Things happen. And like I always bounce back. That's probably what like the thing with me. You ever see Dragon Ball Z? Like any of you guys a fan of Dragon Ball Z?
I'm a WWE guy, not a Dragon Ball Z guy. No.
I was a Dragon Ball Z kid, big time.
Not
Big
me.
time, right? It's like it's always one of them out there. In Dragon Ball Z, right? They have these two characters that are prestigious, special race of people from like a distant galaxy, right? On a planet that's been destroyed, because of the fear of the people being too strong, right? The way they're developed, right? They go through these horrible, just extra ridiculous fights. You know what I mean? And they might be just absolutely destroyed by the end of the fight. But when they heal up from that fight, they become twice as strong every single time. And like that's kind of like how they developed and got so much better than everybody in the whole galaxy. You know what I mean? It started off from like very, very little low grade fighters to the highest of the highest and the most elite. And like that's just an example of what's going on when it comes to my development. The harder I'm put in there, and like the thing is, if I survive, it's the wrap. If I survive and I don't actually die, then I become 10 times better. So I survived the Alexis Rocha fight. I didn't fucking go down. They stopped the fight while I was on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Still punching. The referee caught a couple, like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? And when I came back 10 times better. And
It's like
that
Sub-Zero for Mortal Kombat.
yeah. So the whole thing is like, I want to touch the human people. I want to touch the human. I want to show people the human experience. Does that make sense? And the human experience is this. Like, it's so motivating to show people the ups and downs, the trials and the tribulations in a fight, and even outside the ring. And because really it's about what happens next. And like, when I survive these fights and I end up doing this and doing that, it's the most motivating, most inspiring thing that boxing has right now. Boxing don't have these type of fighters. You know what I mean? The most inspiring thing outside of myself is Tyson Fury being on drugs. I mean, he didn't lose, but he was on drugs and going through depression and all that, and gave everything up. And God knows what, like, dark places that he had to face. You know what I mean? And I understand his place, because I've been in those places like almost every day. You know what I mean? I'm in those places all the time, but I survived is the thing. And when he survived, he came out shining brighter than ever before. But outside of myself, that's it. You don't really get to see that much from these fighters. So it's just a whole lot of questions, and boxing's getting boring.
Yeah, I feel you. But you talked. I mean, you're from Philly at Wild Card. It's just a boxing. I want to know who's the best person you ever been in the ring with, where you're like, yo, that guy's got something. Who's the best you ever been in the ring with? Sparring or in a professional fight, whatever.
Every single person that I've ever been in the ring with, if I had gotten a bad day with them, it was only a matter of time until I had a good day. And then once I had a
Okay.
good day, there was never a bad day ever again. Um, it's very few experiences that I can even say that person's that much better or that much greater than anything that else that I've faced. And to be 100% honest, I face myself in that ring more times than not. And when I look myself in the mirror and know exactly what I'm capable of, and when I'm shadow boxing, I'm the best thing in the ring every single time. I'm the best thing I've ever faced. I'm the toughest critic and the toughest fight that I've ever faced in that ring. And sometimes when you're facing things, within yourself, it's not always about boxing. Sometimes it's about an addiction. It's about an affliction. It's about bouncing back from like a heavy breakup. And you might have kids, you might have things going on that's on the line, and you have to figure out some way of cultivating a relationship with somebody that hates your guts. You know what I mean? That wants nothing more than to kill you. I had to go through plenty of those situations. You know what I'm saying? Where like I had to face myself. Even in Mexico, I like the toughest thing in the ring was the idea that like, I like the first day I got in the gym, I sparred. Not just anybody, the toughest person I could find. The first time I only 2 weeks into training in Mexico, I fought. And then I just kept fighting and kept fighting and kept fighting. And it wasn't just anybody, it was the toughest person I could find. Most times, not even in my weight class. It might be 2 or 3 weight classes above me. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I had to face the demons within myself and realize, like, yo, I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I came to boxing, I was trying to kill myself. It was just the most creative thing that I could do to kill myself at the time. Like, because I don't exist. I'm not a human being at all. I don't exist at all. My situation is so fucked up that like I actually don't exist. If I was to die right then and there in Mexico, I never existed. My mother passed away, my grandmother passed away, and pretty much anybody else that gave a fuck about me is either right there with me or dead. you know. So then it just got me to a position, because it's been plenty of times where we've been put in positions where, like, okay, all of us is probably gonna die. You know what I mean? They got machine guns. You know what I mean? Or something like that. You know what I mean? We're always in the midst of like something's gonna happen. I can't even tell you how many times I almost died. And it's not just in Mexico, it's just in general with my life in general. You know what I mean? And so like,
Champ, did you move to Mexico on your own?
no, I moved to Mexico with my father because my father was on the run. You know, he was on a run from the law, and I had to flee the country and take on
It
like
wasn't like you
my
moved to
identity
Mexico to train.
myself. Yeah, and while I was in Mexico on the
Wow.
run with no identity, and just like, and pretty much a broken life in general, completely. You know, I had to find something, and like, or maybe it found me, and I was boxing. You know, I walked in the gym really trying to kill myself. Like, like, what's the most reckless thing I could possibly do at this point? I got a great idea. I should go to a gym. I should go to a boxing gym. I like, not this fucking kickboxing shit that I've been doing. Let's go to fucking boxing. A real tough boxing gym in the goddamn slums. The slums of the toughest fucking city in all of Mexico. you, you know what I mean? If I don't get killed on the way there, I should get killed on the way out. If I don't get killed like in the training, I should get killed in the sparring. And it just never happened. I survived. I got better. I got stronger. You know, I got more calculative. I got I got better on more levels than I can even imagine. So what ends up happening, like, that became part of my calling, you know.
At what point in that time in Mexico did it go from like a suicide mission to, oh, I think I have something here?
Um I remember having like my first real knockout. Now, I stopped a lot of guys. I stopped a lot of guys because, the whole thing is, right, the way they set it up, you finish them. Like, you know what I mean? They don't play that bullshit in Mexico. There ain't no like, hold up, let me give him an 8 count. No, finish his ass. Finish his ass. You know what I mean? If we had put it to Mexican rules, there's no cups involved. You know what I mean? If you get caught with a low blow, you got caught with a low blow. Suck that shit up and keep fighting. You know what I mean? And you're lucky if you got a mouthpiece. Like, you know what I mean? The gloves is not taped. Like, and that's how it goes. And sometimes you don't have a headgear. You know, it's just, and it's just crazy. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, like, that knockout where like I was face up against like probably my biggest opponent, my toughest and my biggest opponent in Mexico. And yeah, man, he was probably like twice my size. He's swinging with big giant like hooks and everything. And like I coming out there, my father showed up. I didn't even know he showed up until like later on, but like still he showed up. Like, people were there. It was a big crowd. It was definitely a big crowd in Lobo's gym in Guadalajara. And I'm getting my ass kicked in the first round. Oh, I'm getting my ass whipped. This is the first time I got my ass whipped where I'm losing a round in a real fight, And he's tearing my ass up, and I'm fucking sitting there, and then like in between the rounds, we don't never sit down. We stand up, and I'm like just sitting there. My friend is telling me all kinds of shit, trying to get me inspired and shit, and I'm sitting there like, damn, what would Mayweather do? And I went out there and did exactly what the impression of what I believe Mayweather would have done. You know what I mean? With the shoulder roll, tight, shooting in short, tight shots in between those big giant hooks. You know what I mean? Bow, bow. And just like I started doing that, and that went on for like a few seconds until I saw a big giant punch, big giant right hand coming from all the way Mississippi, you know what I mean? And just he came out, he swung a big ass fucking punch, and I saw it coming. I pulled back just a little bit, missed, and I hit him. and knocked him clean out. And when I hit him, it felt like I hit paper. It was like absolutely no give. I wasn't even sure if I even hit him, but he was out for like over like 30 minutes. They had to do the smelling salt and everything. Like we was fucking doing, like I done had the whole gym like in an uproar, Romero, and like and just doing that, and we're having a whole, we damn near, like I shut the whole damn crowd down, and they had to they was finished. There was no fights after that. That was the main event. Canelo was on the undercard of that fight, like actually, and
So this was a pro fight. This wasn't an amateur fight.
this was an amateur fight. We were amateurs, me and
Wow.
Canelo, in the exact same gym. In the exact
No
same
shit.
gym.
Bro, that's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a lot of people don't know that, because I
Of course,
definitely didn't.
nobody's gonna know that, man. I would even wager probably one day we'll probably end up fighting, because there was a lot of people in Mexico that were telling me, like when I was still there, they're like, "Hey, man, you should fight this guy." Like they got people that's putting a lot of money into him and all that stuff, and you probably can beat him before he becomes anything. And I was like, man, I'm not ready to go pro, man. I don't even know nothing about boxing. Like, look,
So,
man, no, but you're really good though.
was Canelo that guy at that point? Did you know?
No, I was that guy. I was that guy. I was the main event. I was the main attraction. I was the guy with the afro, that they put up against like
So,
probably their biggest fights and
what,
toughest
what was
fighters.
with the what was with the Romero chance? That's your name too? Or when there was
Yeah, that was
Romero?
one of the names I went by when I was
Okay.
out there. Romero is my actual middle name. I have a Spanish middle name, so it's Blair Romero Cobbs, and and that's the name I went by when I was out there. You know what I mean? And
Oh, I
it
ain't
was
gonna
just,
lie.
it
I
was
might
a
need
lot.
that. I might need that Blair the Flair movie, bro, or
Yeah, bro.
series or something. This is
There's
wild,
definitely
bro.
gonna be this is a lot of content, and it should definitely be a series or a movie coming out very, very soon. We have people like the likes of Childish Gambino that's possibly going to be starring in the movie, playing myself. It's a lot going on, but we're still making it happen. I still got to talk to these writers and try to like narrow down the the plot and the story, because it's a lot going on. There's just too much going on in my life, and so like one of the toughest things I have to do, especially when I have like this dual personality. So like I have fragmented memory. You know what I mean? That comes with having that dual personality. Like there's a lot of things I don't remember, because when I'm going through serious and heavy stress, another person that comes to save the day, and like take over. I mean, that's what happens when you have that DID situation, when you have to disassociate and another identity takes its place. You know what I mean? So like it's still working out the kinks. You know what I mean? Trying to get through that fragmented memory.
I got a question. It's something. I mean, the first thing that drew me to you was the WWE entrances. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and that caught my eye. Especially the last one, the Stone Cold one. That one was
Love
dope.
that.
Which was that something that you grew up watching as a child, or is it something you just caught onto recently?
No, I was definitely a WWE fan. Well, back in the days, it was WWF, WCW. I remember when NWO, the rise and fall of NWO, you know what I mean, and the takeover of NWO. I remember all of those days. I remember the days like where like my favorite had started to blow up. Shawn Michaels, and then Triple H and Shawn Michaels getting together with X-Pac to create in China, to create something that we call the D Generation X. And then
Oh, yes,
even
sir.
the rise and power of Stone Cold and The Rock, the final chapter in the WWE world, which is John Cena and The Rock. before like things just got too hectic, and then also the UFC was starting to take off and stuff like that. So, but like yeah, I was a big fan in the wrestling world. And like it was just so inspiring and enchanting to just like, just to watch those fights and those matches. And I wanted to bring that back. I wanted to bring the charisma, the intensity, the excitement of the wrestling atmosphere. And I'm not the only one that's done it. I mean, Muhammad Ali, which is like a relative of mine, had pulled it off. You know what I mean? And like, and that's probably why we kind of we definitely got some things going on that's like very similar to each other. You know what I mean? When it comes to inside and outside the ring.
Hold up, we said Muhammad Ali, the GOAT.
Yeah, yeah. I'm on my mother's side. You know, my mom passed away a while ago, but my grandmother is still alive, and she talks about that. You
Okay,
know what I
So
mean?
what's your relation to him?
He's the uncle of mine,
Wow, that's
but
crazy.
Wow.
he's like a uncle like 2 times removed. I don't know. I don't really know the ins and outs. I have to talk to her about it again, but I know that like we're definitely relatives.
So with that being said, what's your thoughts on Nico?
A lot of work that needs to be done. You know what I mean? But like they're moving him the right way that they need to move him to develop and grow, and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens.
Seems
good.
like the
Good.
power is still bailing him out, and I think eventually somebody's going to be able to outthink him, and it's going to force him to kind of expand his game because he's still getting bailed out by that power every time.
Yeah, like the whole yeah, that whole thing. But see, my whole thing is this: it's only in the face of adversity that you can truly grow. You know what I mean? It's only in the face of adversity
Yeah,
that like the truth will show. Like it's only in the face of adversity. You know what I mean? And like gratefully, I've taken and gone through, and God has placed me in plenty of places where I had to face a lot of adversity to develop into the person that I am today. And
Blair,
what I
what's the frustration level for like someone like you? You know, we talked about Nico and how he's being guided. We talk about Terrence Crawford and he's not in a fight, he's gonna lose. Jaime Munguia, guys lined up for him. What's the frustration level for you where every time you go out, it's like life or death? Is there frustration or I mean, what's the feelings on that?
I'm very frustrated at times, and the thing is like it's like eventually I get to the point of Gladiator. You remember Gladiator?
Yes, sir.
Like,
Mhm.
is this not while I'm here?
Entertained, right?
Are you not entertained? You know what I mean? Like it gets to a point where it's like, dude, I'm sacrificing my life for the lowest amount of money and we have to be truthful about what's going on. I am the star attraction. I deserve to be the main event every time out. Like, oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna put you on Ryan Garcia card. I'm sorry, but like I have better plans. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, well, what about a Virgil Ortiz undercard? I'm sorry, but nobody's gonna watch Virgil Ortiz. Like, knock out another guy that can't punch. Like, you know what I mean? What about we're gonna put you on a Jaime Munguia card? Yeah, that's great. The news don't pick up the fight, but they pick up Blair to Flair. Like, it's just getting to a point where as though like eventually like we have to start realizing what's real and what's not real. Blair to Flair deserves to be where the hell he deserves to be. I can handle my own card. I prove it already. Matter of fact, my card sold out. The other card with Virgil Ortiz did not sell out. It was very empty. You know what I mean? Live in effect. And like I personally made sure that I was not doing any promos or fucking like none of that stuff. I mean, I wasn't doing any promoting at all. Like, this is business Blair to Flair right now. This is business Blair. Blair to Flair is gone. This is business Blair today. I mean, y'all wanted to see what happens when I don't say shit. Okay, this is what happens. But when it's fucking over, when it's done, I'm gonna make sure you motherfuckers remember that, like, I'm still me though. Like, like you're not gonna just act like this fight didn't happen, like Alexis Rocha and Rashidi Ellis, and then bury Rashidi Ellis and put him into fucking to the wasteland of nowhere. You know, no, you're not gonna do that to me.
So Blair, we had we're an interactive podcast, and we have a listener, Anthony Jones. He says Golden Boy is terrible for black fighters. Do you feel that?
I mean, honestly, until they start doing better, and I'm sorry, not like I'm sorry, but like trying to work with some young kid that like ain't have nothing going on, like he's just brand new coming off the amateurs, like what makes him so goddamn special compared to like the fighters that you already had that was supposed to be great already. You know, it just gets to a point where like it's hard for me to say, it's hard for me not to say a hard yes. You get what I'm saying? It's hard for me to say to not say a hard yes. They had plenty of great fighters. They had Adrian Broner. What happened to Adrian Broner? We didn't hear about him until PBC. You know, they had Amir Khan. We didn't hear about Amir Khan until PBC. You know what I mean? It's just getting annoying to a point where as though like somebody's got to tell them, hey man, we need to do a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a promotional company, if in the perfect world, who would you like to be with?
I don't know. Honestly, in the perfect world, can I be 100% honest?
Oh, that's what we do on this show. We keep it
That's
raw.
what we do here, bro.
You know, in the perfect world, there is a place called the Flair Promotions where we promote the most exciting fighters in boxing today, starring none other than Blair to Flair, along with many other fighters that deserves to be treated right and also promoted, like Don King. In the perfect world, the best promoter will be me. I can do this shit better. Personally, that's how I feel. You know what I mean? It may be true, it may be not true, but god damn it, like I could one line your motherfucking ass all day. I mean, honestly, like
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, hey, let's stick with it. We're all hypothetical. Flair Promotions. What's the mega fight? Blair Flair versus who?
Blair to Flair versus Adrian Broner is the mega fight. You know, Adrian Broner versus Blair to Flair would be a mega fight.
Can we get Adrian to get serious enough to fight you though?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm still trying to get him up to par. Like, motherfucker, I will train you myself if it's that.
I'll train you to fight me. So we can put this fight on. I love that shit, dude.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just but
I mean, we're talking about a bunch of things. Do you have any idea realistically
like for instance,
when you're going to be back?
Like, I don't know, but like the whole idea. I'm sorry, let's just cut you off. For instance, like there's a lot of things that's putting that fight in a position where as though like why not? You're not that much older. You're not old. You're not over the hill, bitch. I'm only 2 years younger than you. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like
2 years.
1 or 2 years younger than me. Like, and like you're not done. You only have like 1 or 2 losses. Like, calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you need a tune-up. Yeah, but okay, how many tune-ups do you really need? You know what I mean? Like, how long is it going to take for you to really get in shape? You know what I mean? How serious do you want to be a legend? How serious you want this money? You know what I mean? Because like last time I checked, I threw $2 million, $3 million at him. And he said, "Oh yeah, no, like no." Like, so that's the thing. When I ever think about maybe going to BLK Prime, that's I don't know. That's like there's many possibilities in the air. We have to still talk with Golden Boy and see what happens with Golden Boy. Golden Boy Promotions is an incredible company when they're doing right. You know what I mean? And like I can't like without a doubt say that they're done. I can't without a doubt just say, oh yeah, like my relationship with them is over and through. It's just like I'm just hoping that they do well and do good by me at least once. Like, at least once. You know what I mean? And but I can't sit here and say that I'm worthless either. If they act like I'm worthless, I will be moving on. You know what I mean? It's just like anybody. Like if
Do you owe anything to them there? Like, where are you contractually? Like, do you owe them anything, or are you a free agent?
I don't owe them anything, and we have to go through another negotiation, and we got to go through that phase of negotiating, and I'm seriously hoping that they treat me right because I have other options. There's other things on the menu to look at when it comes to like other promotions, and even the whole idea of BLK Prom, they'll put the promotion part in my hands, which makes it way more easier. like like you don't need a promoter when you have somebody like me. Just put enough cameras
What
and
do you what do you
out. Period. I
what do
will
you know?
promote.
What do you know about that though? What do you know about BLK Prime? Because I talk to these guys every day, and I'm telling them that Terrence Crawford fight's not happening December 10th. Do you know? Like, do you think it happens?
I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen because I have shit to do that day, but I will run up on Terrence Crawford, the type of thing. I have shit to do that day specifically, but I have to make sure that I run up on Terrence Crawford's ass though. Like he got to see me. Like, but I don't know. It's just really rough to have that be your first come out fight. You know what I mean, for a network, a promotion, or whatever you are. You know what I mean? And I always see the best in people and in like possibilities. BLK Prom sounds like a great platform that's trying to do right and get things moving. But saying that it was okay for Terrence Crawford to just choose any old body, you know what I mean, outside of a star fight, the traction that can bring in revenue is just going to be rough. I mean,
Yeah. No, that announcement was wild. Like, a company we never heard of. Like I said,
he couldn't even get the damn the name of the company right when
You saw that?
and it's just like, dude, like
I've never claimed to be an
Not so
expert.
suddenly too. It was like we were all at a place where we're expecting the announcement of the Spence fight, and the kid fucking puts it out there like, "This is what you wanted, right?" Like, no, that's not what we fucking wanted.
no, that's not what we wanted,
Yeah.
and it's just like,
You mentioned too, BLK Prime would leave the promotion in your hand. With that being said, we haven't heard nothing from Crawford. He's posted a picture a couple times on Instagram. That's about it.
No, I'm telling y'all, one of those fighters, either Crawford or whoever he's fighting, they're getting COVID, bro. We're gonna get the COVID.
To be fair, the guy he's fighting is a good fighter. He's just not a big name, and it's not the big fight that we've all been waiting like 7 months for. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bad idea for a brand new company to put like big amounts of money out for a fight like that. I think that's a bad idea. I think that's a bad business strategy. I know that they want to do right with the fighters, and I know they want to do good in their first go out, so they want to sign like the best fighter that they possibly could. But honestly, that's not the best fighter that you possibly could be signing. You could be signing somebody that has way more charisma and that can actually sell some shit like Blair to Flair. Right now, we have Terrence Crawford. He's great. He's an incredible athlete, and I take absolutely nothing away from him, but he will get spanked with Blair to Flair. but they're like that whole idea of like him just like fighting an absolute nobody is kind of disrespectful to the sport, especially when everybody's waiting for the negotiation to go down with Spence, and then it doesn't happen. So then everybody's pissed off, including myself, and it's just like, you know what, what I see is that Blair and Flair will most likely end up spanking both of those guys before they actually fight each other, and they will be well past like their like fucking fighting abilities. You know what I mean? When it comes time for them to actually wish that they could have cashed out, and then they get fucking old and beat up like American and Kell Brooks.
Oh yeah.
They could have made that fight happen years ago, but then they wanted to get ego twisted.
Okay, Blair. So after you spank both of them, hypothetically, when they get in the ring with each other, who's winning that fight? Because that's the fight we want to see, right?
If I end up spanking both of them, they don't exist no more.
Okay.
We don't ever want to talk about or hear about them again. Period. That will be the mark of their grave, and it will be the mark of a whole different era. You know what I mean, in boxing, and it'll be the rebirth.
I feel you. What if they fight before you though? Who
I'm
gets
hoping that they do.
Who gets that? Who you picking?
I would pick Terrence Crawford because he actually wants to smoke.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see Earl Spence wanting to smoke. I think Earl Spence just be talking to smoke, but he don't ever fucking actually want the smoke. If he wanted the smoke, it would have happened already. It would have, and he always fucking talk about some, oh yeah, the other side, this, other side, that. Bro, fuck those sides. You know what I'm saying? If it's not a mega attraction, nobody give a fuck about your belts. Oh, you beat a bum for that shit, and you wanted to fucking beat an old ass man for it too. Like, but then come on, it's like at the end of the day, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. We didn't even want to see that shit when he fought Sean Porter. We didn't want to see that shit. We're like, okay,
no, but Blair, come on. Crawford fought Porter then afterwards though.
Yeah, and we didn't want to see that shit either.
I like Arrow, bro. I think Arrow gets him. I'm just throwing Arrow some bell. I'm throwing Arrow some bell.
I like Earl too. He's a good bitch. He's the best bitch I ever seen in my life.
Another guy I would like to see you at, against, and mainly because the promos would just be fire. I'm talking Stone Cold and The Rock level of fire. You and Keith Thurman.
Oh man, yeah, I think that would be great. Keith Thurman versus Blair and Flair. I think it's a good 50-50 fight. Whereas though,
that's
like,
an easy sell.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
That's an easy sell.
It's a very, very easy sell, and it wouldn't be for nothing. If he fought like these other fighters, it'll be for nothing. If he fought Ennis, it'll be for nothing. If he fought Virgil Ortiz, it'll be for nothing. Anybody that's young, it'll be for nothing. But like with me, he catch the smoke. He has a chance because I don't have a whole bunch of developmental fights. But the thing is, you don't know what I'm capable of either, though. I'll fucking make up some shit. Next thing you know, you in a cabin.
You'll do the fucking Emmanuel Augustus double punch.
Double punch out of there. It's a fucking you need to get your shoes tied. You foul. Sucker punch. I'm very creative. You know what I'm saying? I'm the Joker. Like, you know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But
Champ, I know we've had you on for a while, but I wanted to get your opinion real quick. How do you feel about the fight between Regis Prograis and Jose Zepeda?
Honestly, I don't really have a thought on that. I don't have a thought on that until like other top dogs get into the weight class. I'm sorry to say it, but like 140's kind of been like a stale division lately until people start moving up from 135. Now, like when you have people like Gervonta Davis coming into the situation, or Devin Haney coming into the situation, Ryan Garcia coming into the situation, we have a whole lot of different things that can happen. Regis Prograis We don't know what the hell he like actually can do when he's put in there with some of those type of athletes. You know what I mean? And those type of athletes. Like, you know what? You know what'd be really interesting? The other Zepeda, William Zepeda. What happens when either one of them gets in a ring with somebody that's probably gonna mop them up. You know what I'm saying? Like most likely it's gonna be a mop up. It don't matter how many times you try to fucking counter or step around him or try to box him, he's gonna throw more punches than you and he's gonna mop your ass up. And what happens then? How do you fare? How do you make an adjustment to that? It's just too many questions and it's not enough answers for 140 division and for those two fighters.
So, yeah. So hey, I mean, this is the
Care.
boxing. This is the boxing shop. We kind of tailor it to like the barbershop talk. Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. Who you
Damn,
got?
that's a good fight. I love
Yeah.
both fighters. I respect both fighters, especially Ryan Garcia because he's a good friend of mine. Um,
Okay.
Me personally, what I see is now just how it is. Okay, we have two fighters with weapons. You know what I mean? They're both incredible. Ryan Garcia has an incredible hook. You know what I mean? And he can change his hook in time and all that stuff, but it's mainly just that one hand. That's it. That one hand. But then you have somebody in Gervonta Davis. You know what I mean? He's a southpaw, one, and you can get knocked out with pretty much any and everything. Uppercuts, hooks, straights from both fucking angles. You know what I mean? From both hands. He can knock you out with both hands. You know what I'm saying? And he's disciplined enough to try to figure his way out of getting the ass whooping. Like as you saw with the Rolly fight. He could have easily got his ass beat the fuck up. Rolly ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? People think Rolly's a joke even for that loss, but he's not. You know what I mean? You will accidentally hit the canvas because of Rolly. And Rolly hit him one time and he knew exactly to not fuck with him and like that like both of them can go down. Rolly hit him one time and it wasn't even a full like full brunt force hit, but like it hurt him. It hurt him enough to wake him up and like know that like I cannot make a mistake on this fight.
Yeah, no doubt.
Fall
Hey,
into a trap or a fight. Period.
we've seen Rolly call out guys at bigger weights. You and Rolly, that's another one, right? That's a
That'll be a big fight, you know what I mean? If we able to make that happen, then we make it happen. He's a good friend of mine. I'm pretty sure we can
okay.
figure something out and maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah, no, man. I hope you get the biggest fights. Like I said, which
That's
you
the
know,
fight I'm looking for. Like yes, the belts are good. And if you see Blair or Flair with a world title, you know that the shit is over. Like a lot of things are going to be changing. Like there's a
yeah.
lot of things to look forward to in fighting once that happens. But beyond the belts, I still feel like I have to make it my duty to still keep boxing alive. Let's
If you have to mop up Quentin Randall along the way, you'll do that, right?
I don't know who Quentin
I
Randall
don't, I
is.
don't know. I don't know either, bro. I just got asked about him.
But look, man, if you really want an ass whooping, I want you to just last 1 week. If you survive 1 week in Wild Card Gym against all the fighters, I will make an appearance personally to fuck you up. But you have to survive. You have to survive Elvis. You have to survive Raul. You have to survive Stinionis. You have to survive all these guys before you get to the king, which is me. I'm sorry, but you have to survive these guys. Because
Blair, so you are the guy at that gym because you know there's always that guy. You're that guy at Wild Card right now.
man, it's like this. Like I'm that guy when I'm at my best. You know what I'm saying? If I fall off, if I'm not like in shape, like they will tear me up because they can't nobody can't people can't wait to beat me. I talk too much shit and I got the most status. You know what I'm saying? In a fucking gym where there's nothing but hungry, undefeated fighters. Just imagine that. And everybody wants to win, everybody wants to be the best, and everybody wants to please Freddie Roach. So when I come up in there and I say that I'm the best and ain't no goddamn contest, I'm the best. The only person that contests is Freddie Roach because Manny Pacquiao was the best to him. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? I would never be the best in his eyes. But in the gym, I'm respected. I know that for sure. And
No doubt,
if
man.
Quentin Randall can survive wild card gym, I will take him serious. But but the thing is, he has to survive day in and day out. Don't be a bitch. You fucking don't just show up one day out of the week and then leave. No, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and see how you feel. Because I'm going to be popping up soon after that. And the thing is, after Monday and Wednesday, things look different on Friday. you know, it's just incredible to be involved with Wildcard because they have so many like top athletes. You know what I mean, I'm very proud to like have even like been a part of the Wild Card Boxing Gym, even though I might have moved on and like found my own way in certain stance. But like I still show up there. I'm still wearing a Wild Card shirt. Like you know what I mean. I
Yeah,
still love Freddie Roach
the
and
couple
all.
of times that I visited California in my life, I actually went and did a workout there myself, and it was like amazing. Just being like casually like, oh, Brian Valoria is over there, and then there's like this guy over there, and there's guys that if you know what you're looking at, like there's some real fucking sharks in the room, and that was just a casual, like there wasn't nothing serious going on. It was just people hitting bags, but it
Exactly.
was some serious shit.
Like there's a lot of top athletes. There's a lot of top athletes. They even had this guy named Gore. Like there's athletes out there that like you don't know just because they haven't got their opportunity yet. Olympians that just haven't had their opportunity and their place yet. But but I tell you one thing, all of them are incredibly dangerous. And if you're not on your P's and Q's, you can get hurt. And like this Randall guy, if he truly believes that he's not a scrub, because 9 times out of 10, he is a scrub. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't just sit here and be trying to call out somebody just because. Like, you know what I mean? If nobody heard of you, odds is you haven't fought anybody. You know what I'm saying? If we never heard of you, odds is you're brand new. You know what I mean? You're not of the scene. And for somebody like me, to call out somebody like me, it's not good because I already ended plenty of young fighters' careers. So and I don't mind doing it again.
Hey Blair, when you had that interaction with Boots at whatever post fight that was, what was the vibe like? Because you can't see that energy from a video. What did you get from him? Like, what was the vibe from him?
Fear. You guys might like you guys, and not just you guys, but everybody else. um, Before I left Philadelphia, I had a big, 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 big. When I mean big, humongous, name in Philadelphia. I was a big person. I was a guy that was hidden. I was the biggest hidden gem in Philadelphia because I just didn't want to deal with people that would take advantage of me and not put me in places where like I can perform. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be put on in places where as though like they put me in like these knockout drag out wars and like when you put in those type of places, they could rob you and because nobody saw it, like they don't know that you got robbed. You end up taking losses that like you don't like people don't know and you can get wore out like with boxing. You know what I mean? It's just it and then on top of that, poverty. You know what I mean? Going through all that stuff. I didn't have a big family to help me out or nothing like that. It was just me by myself. You know what I mean? That's one of the roughest things to ever endure is like Philadelphia streets, literally by yourself. No family, no friends, nothing. I didn't even want friends. Philly's so fucking grimy and crazy. I ain't had no friends. I didn't even want friends. Like, you know what I mean? I had one friend one time for like 5 seconds, and somebody tried to stick us up and he knocked him out, like, and took his gun. And it's like, why don't you rob him too? Like, I'm like, okay, now I have to rob him too. Look, man, guess what? We're never hanging out anymore. Like, you know, you know what I mean? It's just one of those places that's, is crime written, is drug written, there's tons of crackheads. It's just not a good environment. And to come from that, it just didn't breed excellence coming from, like, for me, and put me in positions where, like, I can be seen. The moment I left, I blew up. The moment I left Philadelphia, like, I had things going on. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's like that. But when it comes to me and Ennis, there was a lot of fear because I am that dude. You know what I'm saying? The biggest, scariest thing to end his career, the biggest, like, threat that he has is my existence. You know what I'm saying? That's a big threat. Because even being said, he has a lot of skills and a lot of abilities, and, like, he might be able to beat even the best fighters out there. You know what I mean? Without a doubt. Like, he has a shot. He could beat somebody like Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence. He definitely could beat Keith Thurman and all these other washed up old fighters. You know what I mean? He could beat the young fighters that he ain't calling out and they ain't calling him out. Like, he has a good chance of beating everybody. You know what I mean? He has a lot of skills and a lot of abilities, but somebody like me is a big threat. The fact that I'm not dead, the fact that, like, I didn't, like, succumb to just disappear was a big problem for him. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, okay, oh shit, I thought we didn't have to worry about him. You know what I'm saying? So I had a big history in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? So, like, one of, like, their biggest things that they throw out there is the time period when I was on a 3-year layoff because nobody wanted to fight me. Got this guy Greg Surge talk about some. Oh, you only want to fight easy fights. You only want to fight easy stuff. I'm like, look, okay. So who you want me to fight? He's like, oh, I got this whole list of good fighters. This, and that. Oh, they're good fighters, huh? I was like, oh, they're good fighters, huh? Okay, you call them. We'll call them together. We'll call every fucking person on that list of these top fighters in Philadelphia and just mention my name. Oh yeah, you want to fight Blair? Are you 140? You good? Yeah. I can make it. I can do it easy. Okay, you 140? Okay. All right. We gotta fight for you. Okay, who is it? Blair Flair. Click. Boom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got turned down more times than I ever can even imagine. You know what I mean? From top fighters in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? I'm a serious issue. You know what I'm saying? And, like, so it's not like I couldn't get a fight in Philadelphia. And I'm not connected to a major company. And, like, nobody's gonna, like, spill the beans about how serious I am unless they got some kind of financial coming kickback. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be in my own gym too. Like, they'll call the best gym there because, like, the best gym at the time was James Schuler's, and I happened to box out of James Schuler's Box Memorial. You know what I mean? People will call up like, "Oh yeah, we heard about this guy Blair the Flair, this and that. So what do you think about?" By far, I'm the baddest motherfucker in the city. And
You ever run into Danny Garcia during those days?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But by far, I'm the baddest person in the town at this time.
Okay.
I mean, like I've grown. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely the hottest ticket, but nobody knows who I am. I got a crazy background. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't have like a good amateur pedigree. It's not like I had a trainer to take me to the nationals. I'm doing this shit on my own. You know what I mean? I don't know how to like play the scorecard game and all that stuff and like learn how to manipulate points. At the time, I just didn't have all of that. I didn't have the experience to do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then like it's just a lot of things that plagued me. You know, finances being one of them. Like it takes a lot of finances to develop a fighter. You know what I mean? And even get them to a certain level. You know what I mean? Like so, I just didn't have that, but I was that dude. so
There you
so
go.
let's put it like this. When we talk about what's happening between me and Ennis, right? They bring up one sparring, not multiples, one sparring when I was off my game way off because I wasn't in the gym. I had 3 year layoff and like kind of just quitting boxing to a certain level. You know what I mean? And it was a big deal. It was that big of a deal to have one good day against me that they would fucking mention it. You know what I'm saying? They would bring it up the moment because that was the biggest thing they ever done in their career to this date. You know what I'm saying? That was like the biggest accomplishment in Philadelphia, was just getting one good day against Blair Flair. That's how dangerous I was.
And not too many people are knocking on his door right now. And the fact that you got in his face, that says a lot too.
Nobody knock on his door, none of that shit. Nobody cares, but I'm in his face.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when I grab him, I grab his hands, I pull him towards me.
I saw
You know
that.
what I mean?
He wanted to let go right away of that
He
handshake.
wanted to fucking get away from me. He didn't want to lock eyes with me until I made it so he couldn't take his eyes off me. You know what I mean? Everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? And then like, I give him a congratulations because he deserves it. He got a nice easy knockout by a guy that was kind of finding the canvas the moment he got in the ring. You know what I mean? With a back of the head shot. It was great. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you know what? That's perfect. Now you don't know how you feel when you get hit in the face, do you? You don't know how it's gonna feel when you get caught with an exchange punch, some shit that you cannot defend yourself from. Like, okay, let's see what happens now, because you can't train for this. So I pull him forward, and I can feel the fear. I can feel the fear the moment he saw my face. You know what I'm saying? Because I do strike fear in people. You know what I'm saying? He needs help. We need to call everybody. Call everybody. Dad, brother, fucking everybody. All of Philadelphia, please. No, let them know that I'm the best. Like there's levels to this. It's levels to an ass whooping, I know. And you're gonna get one. Like, but like all jokes aside though. Ennis is an incredible athlete. Um
Realistically, Blair, can we hope to see you next?
I don't know, man. I'm like they're saying maybe January. They're saying maybe January, sometimes February. I don't know. Cause the thing is, like, when you have like contracts and stuff like this being orchestrated and the iron and wrinkles and all that stuff, and like I'm not taking no more bullshit. You give me a real fight that's really promoted. No fucking early, like late notice fights. Oh yeah, just stay in shape. Just get in shape and stay in shape and just be ready for a late notice fight. Okay. Nah, because I don't like late notice fights. They don't get promoted right. You know what I mean? I need people to stay tuned. I need people to like to know that I'm fighting. Because that's what's been happening. I've been able to pick up a lot of fans with like very limited like promotion. And I need the promotion to push me. I mean, I need the promotion to push me to a point where like I can get these big fights. You know what I'm saying? Because like I deserve it. are you guys not entertained? You know what I mean?
On that note, what do you have in store for your next entrance? What? Tell me you're gonna do like a Harlem Heat or Eddie Guerrero or something like that soon.
No, we need the HBK. We need the.
He did the
I
HBK.
did,
He had
I
the.
did the HBK a couple times.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Actually, that's my favorite entrance. You know what I mean? I
We
usually
gotta stay with we need the HBK. We gotta stay with that.
that was the biggest one. I had a couple of those times. The
At
heartbreak,
least
broken hearts, and everything was great.
an Ultimate Warrior. You got to run to the ring. All of that.
Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, I can't wait to just like do stuff like that. That's where I shine. I can handle that kind of pressure. A lot of fighters are not it. There's a lot of like entertainers that are not it, and then they wonder why they're not blowing up, or they just had just one hit and then they're gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the it. I
Yeah.
actually enjoy this shit. I do it every day. When I'm in the gym, I'm still talking shit. I'm still doing woos and I'm all that shit. Like that's actually who I am. That character is actually who I am in real life. You know what I'm
And
saying?
are you in the gym, Blair? Like, or you're not in the gym till you get a fight, or
No, I'm in the gym,
you're in the gym? Okay.
but like I'm not like pushing my body to 100% and doing all that crazy shit. Cause like my whole thing is this: like I gotta keep my body healthy and keep my body primed and ready for big fights. And you're not going to do that by like putting so much wear and tear on your body. Fighters, they will come into fights already beat up, already bruised up, having a hard time with weight.
A lot of times it's the camps that take the energy out of the fighters long term. You know,
Like most of the brain trauma comes from dehydration. Like most of the brain trauma comes from sparring. Like you know what I mean? Like
people
the
don't know a lot of times that when guys get knocked out, they may have had too much sparring before the fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they were so susceptible.
got knocked down and sparring like before
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like so like I have to be in the business of taking care of my body at this point. And taking care of my body means good rest, strong hands, strong brain, mental clarity, and like I'm already gifted. I have fast feet, fast hands, and fast head movement. There's very few people that are truly at true level speed fast. Some people just have a bunch of fast hands. Some people are just really fast with their feet, but like, they're a little bit different on the up top. You know what I mean? Like we call like American or somebody. You know what I mean? Like he's got fast feet, but the feet doesn't connect to his spine. He can't move his head. Like
Bro,
it doesn't work.
You've been in the gym with Amir Khan?
I wish.
Oh, okay.
I wish,
I,
but
I was wondering, like, man, the way his chin was just gone. I'm like, bro, how does that work in sparring? I was just curious, like, because he has every tool, and then that chin just not there, and like, bro, does he spar? I just wondered. I was just asking.
absolutely. I'm sure he sparred. He went to Wild Card Gym. You know what I mean? Where they do nothing but sparring. Like that's how they learn is through sparring. And unfortunately, that puts a lot of wear and tear and brain trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like he mentioned about going to Wild Card and like it hurting his career and hurting with like what he's doing and stuff like that. So like, you know what I mean? And like only the best can survive Wild Card Gym.
Yeah.
If something's wrong, it like it will show. Like, you know what I mean? And like if you're not consistent, it will show. And things like that will happen like in Wild Card Gym. And like that was one of the things about him. I mean, I'm sure he got damaged a lot in training, not just wild card, but just in general. You know what I mean? And then like already having a baseline of like, see, nobody has a good chin. I mean, there's very, very few people that do have a good chin. So when it really comes down to is how can you evade punches? You know what I mean? And like, Amir Khan is very one dimensional in the aspect of defense. It's not like he can move his head. because if he had to move his head, he'll have to ground himself and his feet to be able to move his body around and get his head moving. So like he has to like just base everything on speed of his of foot movement of you know what I mean, of foot movement and in and out range, playing the range game. You know what I mean, and flooding you with punches, pop, 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 and then out the door, pop, 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 out the door. And if that's it, if you find somebody like a Philadelphia fighter that happen to be not black, oh, it's a problem because Philadelphia fighters that happen to be not black know how to beat Philadelphia fighters. You know what I mean? They know how to like exchange punches. They know how to set traps and stop the people that are like more agile and faster.
Mm-hmm.
Stop them from just running their own game, and then boom, you see him take a L against Danny Garcia with an exchange shot. Bow, no look hook. Bow, he's gone. He's out the door. You know what I'm saying? Almost in a very similar fashion that I would like hit Maurice Hooker. You know what I mean? He's out the door. Those are exchange punches. You can't. They're not traps. They're not counter punches. They're exchange punches. There is no way out of that exchange. There is no way out of getting hit. You know what I mean?
Feel ya.
No matter how good you are. So like,
But
you know, got caught.
We've been. I mean, we had a long show, man, and I mean, you've entertained everybody for this entire time, Blair. We appreciate it. Before we wrap it up, any other last words or anything like that you might have for everybody tuning in and people that are going to watch the post show?
Well, look, this show is great. You know, you guys are great, and it's people like you guys that are making boxing great. It keeps boxing alive. Getting this type of content out is making boxing alive, keeping boxing the fire still lit. And as always, and you know it's your boy, the most exciting man in boxing, Blair the Flair. You can also check me out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Blair the Flair for more exciting content. BlairTheFlair.com. Woo!
That's it.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Man, we appreciate the time, bro. We really
I got
appreciate
one
it.
question. Hey, Blair, if you cook up something in the studio, whether you're the artist or whatever, we'd love an intro. We'd love an intro song in the boxing shop. So keep us posted.
We're in need of an intro song, Chad. We're in need of one.
It's the boxing shop, killing it with
Hey,
another classic.
yeah, I'm sure we'll be connecting again soon, and you're always welcome on the show at any time, Blair.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Where are you guys located?
I'm out of Arizona,
I'm
New York.
From the West Coast. Dakota's up late.
We're all over.
We're all over.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Man, y'all all over. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I'm in New York up at 2 a.m. for this shit. I'm up late for this.
Damn. That's crazy, man. God bless your heart, man. But you know, it's been wonderful meeting you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys again in the near distant future. Hopefully we can get something going later as far as a fight, and I can once again show up and show out and bless that canvas with another exciting performance. So like, yeah, hopefully those things happen. And then I'll be back on the cast again. I'll be back on you guys' podcast, and we'll be rapping live.
You're one of a kind, champ. You're one of a kind.
Maybe we'll get Quentin Randall on here to talk with you at the same time.
I'm like, who are you?
No, appreciate it,
It
man.
doesn't matter what your name is.
That would be classic if you hit him with that rock line, bro.
No, we actually heard his team was gonna be curious of what you say about him. I don't know the guy. I
As long as this doesn't get put out, like, cause like he can't be ready for what I'm about to throw at him.
We'll
He's
see.
gonna fucking people are gonna die. That's just gonna go viral. I'm like, damn, what's your name again?
The search for Quentin Randall. The search for Quentin Randall.
Like, please let the people remind me and the people who you are. It doesn't matter what you
I can't wait for that. That's going to be a classic moment. We have to recreate that on the shop now for sure.
Oh god, that would be fucking epic.
It will.
I was saving that for like Terrence Crawford, but Quentin around it, that's perfect.
Oh man,
that's gonna be great. All right, well, yeah, that's it. That's the show, and I mean, again,
fellas.
appreciate it again, Blair. We got to give you another woo return, man.
Woo!
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much, you guys. Take care.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right. Bye-bye.